Hello and welcome to ABP Live. I'm Chahat, and today we have with us Fariha Ansari from Stride Ventures. So, Fariha, you have spoken in depth about the Indian markets, how it is different from the South Asian markets and also from the Saudi. But of course, you excel in the Saudi markets, you're there. So, if we talk about the Indian markets and the Indian startup ecosystem right now, I agree that we are way ahead from several countries, but also we are way behind from markets like Singapore. So probably one thing that you see, or you want to say that Indian startup ecosystem is still in a challenge phase, what that challenge could be.
Wow, the challenge and opportunity that I see is, India is the largest democracy, and comparing it to a smaller state like Singapore, which is a lot more developed, would probably be a little unfair because I look at Singapore more as a city than anything else, like a city in India. What I see as the opportunity has been, things like SIDBI, things like SIDBI Fund of Funds, a lot of the startup, things that the government has done to really proliferate funding from a center level and a state level down to the startup ecosystem. Also, what's interesting for India is legal recourse, making sure that a lot of the international funds from Silicon Valley, right, are in this region. We have Axel here, we have Lightspeed, we have Sequoia. They've all been in this region for 10 years and more. Blackstone just celebrated 20 years of being in India, which is a testament to what we're seeing in this region, right? Companies that are starting as startups and then going into private equity and then listing. Amazing is our public market. What is amazing is our public markets, right? If you see it, a lot of our startups have started from angel rounds and then have had huge listings. This is something that is not prevalent in some of these other markets like GCC, which is coming up right now. In the GCC, we've seen massive deals with Tabby, Tamara, Trucker. We've seen huge amount of inflow of capital, like JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs into these companies. The fact that there has been a huge opportunity for venture debt. There has been a bit of a slowdown globally for venture capital and private equity in the last few years. This is an exceptional time for venture debt, right?
What would be the reason for the slowdown?
Global slowdown. There was a global slowdown. This is something that happened with inflated valuations. There was a cost correction globally around people saying, okay, you're not going to be able to command 10, 20x of your revenues, right? So it's important for people to start looking at slightly more, rationalized valuations. But it is the best time for venture debt and growth debt as well, right? We're able to provide non-dilutive working capital requirements. We're able to provide bridge financing for companies. And also, the founder aptitude for venture debt has really increased. So this is something that's exciting. To your question around what we see as different, India is probably about 5-6 years ahead of the GCC in terms of the startups and a clear line of sight, right?
What are the most brilliant products that you see or the world see? Made by India, of course.
Fintech, oh, absolutely. Fintech, homegrown, climate tech as well. If you see Ola, Ather, a lot of these companies are homegrown, right? We're really proud of it. And these are climate tech companies. They're solutioning for the fact that these are EV companies and they're trying to make sure that there's EV adoption, right? So we're really excited about the climate tech startups. And similarly, in other regions, we've seen fintech as one of the leading sectors. But not so much. When it comes to India, we've seen a lot more consumer, right?
Right. When we talk about the report, Stride Ventures report, it also says that the top 3 sectors currently, not just for India, but global, are first fintech, then consumer, and then clean tech. But looking at India is a huge country, of course, with a huge population. So looking at India's geography, demography, population, everything. Apart from these 3 sectors, what could be the 4th and 5th sector that could actually catch the eyeballs?
Wow. It's different. So fintech is common. But in India, I feel that our logistics, our supply chain logistics sectors are already kind of solution for. In GCC, that's our upcoming sector, right? They're still trying to figure out quick commerce. They're trying to figure out supply chain logistics to make sure that consumer behavior is something that they're solutioning for. So that's still upcoming. In India, what we're seeing is health tech is also a sector that is, sort of exactly. And our healthcare system is incredible, right? We have the best hospitals, doctors, all of that are solution for. In other regions, like in GCC, we're seeing that health tech innovation, access to home care, etc. That's a growing sector as well. So we're excited about that in the GCC. Singapore is a very mature market. Southeast Asia and Singapore is a very mature market. What you're seeing then, this is what a lot of our respondents also said is a lot of the startups are raising for non-dilutive working capital. Right, so their aptitude towards debt is a lot higher. They understand that they want to delay their equity raise and find alternate sources of capital like venture debt or growth debt that they want to raise from. So that's the difference that we're seeing versus something like India, where it's for acquisition financing, it's for working capital requirements, and versus a GCC where we have to build the aptitude, that you can find debt. It's not a negative connotation to it, and you're going to be able to delay your funding round till a bit later. GCC being lesser mature, it's definitely upcoming. We see the incredible opportunity over there. India, we see an incredible opportunity. We've been homegrown, and Southeast Asia is already quite mature. Singapore leads this. They're very mature market. Their aptitude towards venture debt and growth debt is much higher than the other regions as well. And so a lot of the startups are raising funds just because they want non-dilutive and they want to delay their equity till much later. So, yeah.
Thank you so much. Rightly said.
Thank you.